Sifu Slim here, and we're going to go to part two with Lee Lewis, a very interesting fellow, early 70s or right at 70. And we talked a little bit in the previous video about his athletic life, his scholarly life, and moving around what would you call that? The Northwest where you grew up? Well, Minnesota is the North.
It's considered the Northwest.
That's considered Minnesota's the Northwest.
Yeah.
And then college in North Dakota. And then Norway, which, do you have any Norwegian or Swedish?
Jag är svensk, men jag snackar norsk.
Norwegian roots. And so now we're going to take a look at what you feed to the human physiology, mind, body, and spirit, because we have to feed all three with natural things that come from the land. How cool is that going to be? So here we go with part two of Lee Lewis.
Okay, and we'll just pan over here to the, and you can take this. This is Christmas Lima bean that I planted in November 2016. So this is going on 5 years. 5 years of growth from the original 5 seeds that Norman Oshiro blessed us with. And if I can find one in here someplace.
Wow, look at that.
And these are absolutely delicious. Like this, but they go a little bit farther and you don't get them right away, then they turn hard. See that?
And what do you do with them then?
Well, you can just collect them in a jar, and then you treat them like any dried bean. You soak them overnight, cook them the next day type of thing. Or you put them in the ground, and you get something like this.
Wow. I can feel that natural flavor and the enzymes and the protein going to work instantly.
Right?
Who wants to take pills when you got all this stuff?
And then hidden in here are some air plants. I put these on with wire a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and they just survived because the rain comes in and they gets moisture in here. You see it's wet in there. So.
And they're ornamental, or do they provide housing from healthy insects?
Probably there's insects that come out of them. So, and then right before we get into the garden, we had this lilikoi. Let's see, there's none on here now, but there was a blossom open up. If you come around to this side, here's a lilikoi or passion fruit. That's the flower of it. And you know lilikoi? Yeah, it's a very nice. So you can see how prolific this is, and this is now in its 5th year.
Wow.
And before it overtook all this area here as well, but the Christmas lima beans kind of beat them out this year.
And the Christmas lima bean started with a seed?
With a seed. He gave me 5 seeds, which I planted along the fence here, and 3 of them took, I think, and took over.
So we're back to Ikomo Mai.
Ikomo Mai. Yep.
Welcome. Ikomo Mai, Ikopu'uvai.
Welcome. A lot of the plants just natural that I don't know what they are. But again, this was 100% dirt back here. There was a garden shed that's I kind of upgraded a little bit, but not much. And this is just an incredible crop right here. This is a sacred or holy basil. And some friends from India were here one day, and they said, we take one of these, and that's all the nutrition you need from that plant every day. There's a lot we could feed the world. Just prolific, and it's got good flavor.
Very nice.
Some people call it black or Thai basil. Other people saying it's holy or sacred basil.
Tastes like it would do a good job as a breath mint.
Yeah, it's a good thing to add to your soups and salads. And I put them in with my omelets and on the Saturdays. So you look. I mean, just look how much there is.
Wow.
All of this. And we just literally had one plant very similar. It'll start out with one plant like this. And all of that happened just on its own. So here I put together some raised beds. They're kind of low to the ground, but it kind of defines where we can plant things. And some of the stuff here now is bolted because there was too much rain and didn't get harvested in time. We have all sorts of things, okra and sweet potatoes and oregano. And if you have this particular plant right here, the monarch butterflies love this. If you have this, you'll probably have monarch butterflies.
What is that?
Or the monarch butterflies?
No, what are these good plants?
I have no
Can't
idea.
remember.
I'm sure they have a name. To me, it's the plant that attracts monarch butterflies, and you can see a few of them around here. That's my happy monk back over there. And in the corner back there, I planted a vine, just a vine of sweet potatoes, in November of 2016. And we just have to keep it back kind of to that corner. Now, the Filipinos, see, here's the monarch butterfly. The Filipinos eat the leaves. The Koreans eat the stems. We're the only ones that eat the tubulars.
Me? I'm a water sign. My girlfriend, she's an earth sign. Together we make
Mud. Mm-hmm. All right, there wasn't one banana tree on the property. See that?
Oh yeah,
Got
doing well.
Got another one over there. If you look across the back here, there must, on the grounds now, there must be 20 different clusters of banana from 3 little kaikis put in the ground about 3 years ago.
They just went ballistic.
Went ballistic, and it gets all overcrowded in one place. We dig one out and stick one right there. Look at that. From one little kaiki. Whoosh. So, and then I took some.
What are the big things on the end of the red thing of the banana?
Yeah, very interesting. That's called a banana blossom. And the Vietnamese know what to do with it. A friend of mine, her mother cooked me up one day. You've seen like that the onion flowers that they batter and deep fry. They do the same thing with that. Just cut it up like this, put it in the batter, quick fry, delicious. Yeah. So originally I thought, oh, that's where the seeds come from, but it's not. No, the seeds are those little dots inside the banana. So that's it on that one. We've of course got we make lau lau out of the taro. And in the bottom here, the roots are used too for making poi. They're not quite big enough yet, but these are not a wet taro, they're a dry taro, which means they grow in the ground. And this right here is bitter melon. Bitter melon, it's really delicious if you make tomatoes mixed with it. I always find them when it's too late, see? This is when they're going to seed.
What do you do with them?
Well, you chop them up and eat them. When they're green, here's one right here. This is, it's usually, once it's this color, it's the best right here. But you could pick this one, chop it up, stir it up saute it with some tomatoes and make an egg thing for breakfast.
So when I got into gardening, what I found is that the picking at the right time was the biggest challenge, because I had all this stuff, and so I'm growing it. You have to do everything right from the beginning to the end.
Yep.
But the picking it at the right time before it got too big or too old, and then using it, those were the 2 biggest challenges in my garden.
That's a big challenge here too, for sure. Like the papaya right there, you can see some are turning yellow. You turn around, the next day it'll be on the ground and ants are eating it, or some bug are eating it.
That's the challenge.
The challenge is staying on top of it. Now, Armando, who's helping me with the garden, who is on the grounds here as well, he got gifted some seeds of this large papaya. So we're saving these for the seeds. Yeah.
It's a different tree than the other ones?
Yeah, this is a different one. You can see these are a lot bigger than the ones back there. Not that you can see them that well back there, but yeah. So we had to put up a little bit of trellis here and have a nice little seating spot.
How often do you get a chance to sit?
I sat down, I think it was a week ago Wednesday for a couple minutes. It was nice.
Sound like P.T. Barnum. You're always keeping busy.
Yeah, I like to stay relevant. That's the deal. So you see that one?
Ooh.
jackfruit back there.
Oh,
Ooh.
what do you do with a jackfruit? Eat it, use it like bread?
No, that's more of a ulu. Ulu is like, this is about half size. This is not grown up yet. Can you see the one right above it there?
Oh, wow.
There's another one there. And, oh yeah, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more happening right here. You see those?
Yeah. And what do you do with these guys?
Well, it's an issue. You gotta wear gloves when you handle these. There's latex inside that will not come off until your skin peels, you know. So the cutting board, you coat it with coconut oil. You coat your knives with coconut oil. You put on gloves and coat them with coconut oil. It's amazing. But it's like having pulled pork. It's really an incredible.
It's got a lot of protein and fat.
Yeah, I'm not sure all what's in it. Those who like it really like it. But those who really like it usually get it canned, already processed. To process this is an afternoon delightful experience. Yeah. So there's lots of them on the grounds now. Many of them are at this stage. There are probably a dozen to 15 of them that'll be here in the next month or so, of bigger than this.
Breadfruit.
What do you call it?
Breadfruit?
This isn't breadfruit. Ulu is breadfruit.
Oh, okay. What is this?
Why did you ask me now when I just had a mental?
We'll go back to the video and see.
This is jackfruit.
Jackfruit, not breadfruit.
Yeah, jackfruit.
So breadfruit's the one you can use as bread.
Yeah, and this you use as pulled pork. This is a substitute for pulled pork. This is a veg.
I was not hungry. I've been fasting most of the day until he said pulled pork. And now that greasy with some salt meal is on my mind. So we got to go out for some pulled pork later.
Well, we will have to do that. All right. Now, this is the second crop of avocados on this tree I planted 4 years ago.
And it's doing very well.
You see them?
Yep.
They're more every day.
So the tree went ballistic in 4 years, huh?
Yeah. Right? They're supposed to be 7 years before you get fruit.
It loves the rain and the sun you get here, huh?
Yeah. This is and let's creep over here.
Do you get 200 days of rain where we are?
Oh, must be.
Huh?
It must be. It's been raining every day here in May. See that thing there?
What is this?
This is soursop. And those are deliciously sweet.
So it's a fruit?
It's a fruit. Looks like an avocado with a blemish problem, right? And look at the new ones coming down here.
Soursop.
Soursop. S-O-U-R-S-O-P, I believe is the spelling. And new ones are coming along here. This is a little one. The one up there is like the size of 2 softballs.
There's one that's like a heart up there.
Yeah, that's kind of the shape that they take.
Soursop.
Soursop. Yeah, and so...
You're building the bridge over the River Kwai over here.
I am. I just started putting the posts up today. I got this thing anchored in the ground. I built the arches and everything on this thing. And so there's going to be 2 posts there, 2 posts in the middle, 2 posts on this end, and then I'm having an arched handrail coming over this. And then this bathtub I reclaimed from you see it back there, that bathtub?
Yeah.
I'm going to sink it in the ground here. I'm going to do a koi pond on this side.
1 or 2 kois?
Yeah. And then on this side, I've got an old concrete sink I'm going to bed in the ground on this side. So you can come on the bridge and look out either side. See 1 koi here and 2 kois there.
You could surf this bridge to keep your balance going.
Yeah, the illusion anyway. And so that gazebo back there I built a couple of years ago or so. It's a 9-sided gazebo. It's a nice spot for people to come and just meditate or have private conversation.
I think you might want to put up a turnstile over there. Maybe we can get one from the New York subway.
Right.
And have them put 75 cents in on their way to the koi pond. What do you think?
That'd be a great idea. Yeah. Or just a sneak peek on the YouTube or something. They can charge admission on that. So I got, you know about the moringa? Well, that was my original moringa tree, planted about 4.5 years ago. And we just keep cutting it off and planting new ones. It's due for another cutting off and new ones. So there's about 20 moringa trees on the property as well.
And what do they do?
It's probably the solution to starvation in the world. These things have more vitamin D than the sun. They have more vitamin C than the oranges. They have more vitamin E than this. They have more. It's so nutritional. It is literally the solution to starvation.
So you have hemp and moringa trees, and we could solve the problems of the world.
Absolutely. Guy that kind of made this kind of popular was Paki, the boxer from the Philippines.
Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, he uses this stuff to heal wounds. You just take this and rub it on a wound. You take this and drink it. We dehydrate it and make it into smoothies.
What happens if you rub it onto your heart? Will that solve your past heartbroken
Will it
experience?
mend a broken heart?
No.
It couldn't hurt. It's beneficial no matter how you take it in. I think you can even do it like snuff, you know, and go like that. I think it would do it.
So those big trees in the back are providing you some shelter or some windbreaks.
That's on the neighbor's property.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought, I haven't done the distance measurement from it, but I think if that fell, it would go onto the garden shed at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are some tall trees. Those are eucalyptus. They're not necessarily part of the natural habitat here, but
maybe they were brought in from Japan.
So you see that jackfruit right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see a 1, 2, 3, and there's 4, 5 more there, and 3 more over there. My friend Hale is they should call him Johnny Jackfruit Seed. You know, like Johnny Appleseed. He's Johnny Jackfruit Seed because he's the one that said you need to have some jackfruit, and he planted these trees. And look at the harvest of them. Just the biggest one I've harvested so far was 30 pounds. A 30-pound fruit. Just insane. Yeah.
That's a whole afternoon of work, eh?
That's an afternoon of work. We had a 22-pound and a 30-pound that we harvested one time. And
so before people come in and they fill in all this area, what do you think about keeping a nice open area here?
Yeah, I thought about maybe a labyrinth in this area right here would be kind of a nice thing.
We could provide some monk outfits and people could walk around going, oh, oh, oh,
oh.
Didgeridoo.
I've got one.
You do?
Did you see it?
Well, I'm sure you're going to be delving into didgeridoo work at some point.
I would love to learn circular breathing because I can play the didgeridoo, but only as long as my breath lasts.
I would prefer to learn flounder breathing so I could hang out underwater for hours.
Oh yeah? I'd rather get gills so I could just hang out in the water. Moringa trees are all over the place. I've got to show you something though that happened this afternoon.
An occurrence.
An occurrence that happened this afternoon. So whilst I'm making the bridge, I've got a little wood workshop back here to do the cutting and all. And I was back here on the chop saw. All right. And as soon as the chop saw stopped its noise, I hear this. It didn't sound like a helicopter. It sounded like a far-off plane. I stepped out and looked up. There was at least 10,000 bees hovering above me. At least. Tens of thousands. And what they were doing is looking for a new home. And guess what? They found a new home.
Oh, I see.
Look at that. They're making a hive.
Making a hive right hanging off the tree there?
They're making a hive right there on this tangerine tree.
Wow.
Is that something?
What about getting some bee boxes?
Well, that's one thing that we've been investigating. And so now we got the bees here. So now I got to figure out, will they go to a bee box if we get just the box? Because most of the time beekeepers will bring you the bees in the box. So this is the second swarm like this that I've seen. The other one was probably 10 times bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
It was so thick it cast a shadow on the ground. But I got a video of this just hovering above the trees, and you can see them just swarming.
Do they work 24 hours a day?
I don't think so.
You think they sleep?
I think they're pretty quiet at night. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll find out, huh? So they were looking for a home, and you know, we do natural gardening here. It's beyond organic. We do composting, and we don't bring in any pesticides, germicides, herbicides, or anything you don't want on in your insides. So this is all.
So sum it up for us about the lifestyle of an organic gardener and being open-minded to the creativity and to the gifts from other people when they come and visit you with some ideas.
Well, it's a blessing, really, when people come here. You know, everyone loves coming here. You know, they like the experience of being here in the garden and just seeing the different things. I counted one time we have 125 different roots, fruits, and veggies here, and flowers. And so there's a big variety, and some of them I don't have no clue what they are. And there's people that, you know, like, oh, you want to have one of these? You know, it's like, yeah, and they'll say, oh, it's a la 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 la, and it's like, oh, that's cool. So I put it in the ground someplace and just see what happens. So yeah, it's a great experience. It's a great conversation for people when they come here to see what's going on.
So is this just another addition to your life, or is it a life-changing thing that's happened to you here?
Well, in a way, it's a combination. I came here as a consultant to the cold-pressed juice business. I was known to make pretty good cold-pressed juice on the mainland, along with a salad that I created called the Centenarian salad that had over 100 raw fruits and vegetables in it, put on a bed of garlic-infused basmati brown rice grown in the foothills of the Himalayas, mixed with lentils, so it was a complete protein, a whole grain, and a legume, 100 raw fruits and vegetables, and I created another salad dressing to go on top of it. It was a tahini-based salad dressing, and it was based upon a goddess salad dressing that I'd found, and so but I kicked it up, so it's better than him. So I call it the on dressing, UN, like the on cola with 7-Up. This is the on dressing, and in fact, I have a friend who's a graphic artist. We just started to create a label. I'm going to start manufacturing it. It's going to be called Lee's Goddess On Dressing, and so we're looking forward to having that happen. But it's been a lifestyle change in the way too. I'm going to say the 5 years I've been here on what's called the Happy Ohana Hale, the Happy Family Home. This brainchild of Julia Estradia, who owns the property in which I do this. And it's been, this is the 5 years I've been here, is probably the longest period of time I've been in one place since I became 18 years old. So it's a lifestyle change in that regard. And
Julia's a positive person, so that just gave you a chance to let you express yourself and take this place to a level that you desired, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, she has a lot. It's her place, so she has a lot of input. But you know, being able to make the garden bridge and the gazebo and things like that, and convert the garden shed back in here to a living quarter is really kind of something I've been doing. I've built 350 houses or more in my lifetime, most of them custom homes, a few speculative, but I would say at least 300 were custom. And so I've worked with some of the best architects in the world. I've made from the tiniest of homes, 128 square feet, to 15,000 square foot homes. And I've worked with some of the best architects and interior designers and landscape architects. So it's just great to be able to express it as it's like an art form. And like I built a tiny home out in Makakilo, and it was just in my mind. It was never put down on paper. Went to Home Depot, ordered 1 truckload of stuff to be delivered, and had everything I needed to build the tiny home, which the lady lives in now, and she loves it. She rents out her 4-bedroom, 3-bath house and lives in a 128 square foot tiny home, which is very comfortable.
So there it is, folks. Sifu Slim, another Happy Ohana Hale interview with a very good man, Lee Lewis, on Oahu. So what I would encourage you to do is allow the information to pour in from videos like this, from people like Lee, and see what that opens inside of you, and see what kind of lei making, which is my name in Hawaiian, Hanalei, Henry, is a lei maker, Hanalei. And so see what kind of a lei that makes around you to allow you to express yourself and be ever more engaged in building things that are positive for other people and for yourself and your mind, body, and spirit. With lots of alohas from Oahu, I'm Sifu Slim. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Aloha.